Okay, so we're now on chapter 3, part 2 of our discussion in mathematics in the modern world, which is about problem solving and reasoning. So today, our discussion will focus on the two or the three remaining lessons in uh, or two rather remaining lessons in MMW chapter 3. Okay, so let's have lesson 3.4, which is about Polya's 4 steps in problem solving. Okay, so the problem solving process, again, as we have mentioned, is your ability to solve no worded problems and apply information or concepts that you have learned. No? So there was a person named George Polya. Okay, he made a important influence on the problem solving processes in mathematics education. Okay, so he is famous in the 1950s. No, he is known to design what we call the Polya's 4 step in problem solving. So ano nga ba itong 4 steps na sinasabi ni Polya? So in the process, the 4 step rule includes that when we encounter a problem, no, ang sabi ni George Polya is in order for you to solve it, ang una mong gagawin is you have to understand the problem. Okay, then followed by devising a plan. How would you solve the problem? Then once you were able to solve to distinguish what plan you have to execute or carry out the plan. And lastly is you look back and check your work. So let's have the first one. Understand the problem. So in understanding the problem, you can understand the problem by identifying ano ba yung mga given information doon sa problem na meron tayo. Okay? Ano ba yung mga values? Ano ba yung hinahanap natin? Okay, so, yun daw yung best way in order for us to understand the problem. Okay. Now, sabi ni Polya, in order for us to understand the problem, here are some of the questions that we can answer. Okay, so can I restate the problem? Kaya ko na ba siyang i-translate in my own understanding? So kapag nagawa daw natin yon, definitely there is a tendency na naiintindihan natin yung situation. Okay? Kaya ba natin or can I determine what are the known about this type of problem? Ano ba yung mga given? Okay? Then followed by, is there missing information? Ano ba yung hinahanap? Ano ba yung kailangan? Okay? Meron bang, is there an extraneous information that is not needed to solve the problem? Okay, so when we say extraneous information, these are information that is on the problem. However, hindi sila kailangan to solve. Kumbaga, nakaka-state lang sila doon, pero hindi sila needed. Okay? Then lastly is what is the goal? Ano ba yung gustong mahanap doon sa problem na yon? Ano ba yung pinapasolve sa atin? Okay? So, ayun po ang sinasabi ni Polya when we try to understand the problem. Now, the second one is devise a plan. Okay, so when you devise a plan, you look for a strategy that you think that would solve the problem. Okay, but take note that not all the strategies that you are applying will give us a result. Okay, so pwede tayong mag-guess and test, also known as the trial and error, or use a variable. We may also draw pictures. Okay, work backwards, using equations or looking for patterns. Then sometimes we make a list or draw a diagram. So these are some strategies that we can think of when we devise a plan. Then after we understand and alam na natin kung anong gagawin natin, then syempre, the next step is we carry out the plan. We do the plan. Okay? So, in solving, okay, we solve the problem based on your plan and observe analytical rules and procedures until you arrive at the correct answer. So, according to Musser et al. In 2020, in carrying out a plan, you can implement the strategy that you have chosen. Okay? So, give yourself a reasonable time. Huwag kang magmadali in solving the problem. And then, do not afraid to start off over. Okay? So, let's say hindi natin na-solve in the first plan or first process, then you can start over and look for a new strategy that would lead to your success. Okay? So, kumbaga, try and try hanggang sa ma-solve natin yung problem. Then as well, be mindful on your work. So work carefully. Okay. So next one is keep an accurate and neat records of your attempts. Then realize that some of your initial plans will not work and that you will have to devise another plan and modify existing. Okay, so kung nakita natin na hindi effective yung unang plano natin, but there are some parts of that plan na effective, so we adopt, okay, those effective processes and then change yung mga not effective. Okay, so that's how we carry out the plan. Then afterwards is, according to Polya, the next step is to look back. You check, okay? In order to validate the obtained value, we need to verify and check if the answer makes sense or correct based on the situation posed in the problem. Okay, and then label your final answer. So it is appropriate, no, to check if your solutions would satisfy the statement of the problem. Okay, so by verifying it, like check, recheck, okay, that is how we look back and check. Okay. So there are different strategies now that we can apply when we try to solve problems. So I'll be discussing some now of the strategies that we can use. So the first strategy is related to example number 1. This is an example of applying the 4-step rule. So example number 1, a police station has 25 vehicles of motors and cars in total. The total number of wheels is 70. Find the number of motorcycles and cars the station has. Okay, so the first step is you understand the problem. So in order for you to understand the problem, you have to know what are the given. So based on the problem, we have 25 vehicles. Okay, so combination yon ng motorcycle and cars. Then, the total number of wheels or yung gulong daw nung 25 vehicles na yon ay 70. So the question is, Among those 25 vehicles, how many are cars and how many are motorcycles? So then you carry out the plan. Okay, so you devise a plan wherein you use variables, no? So you label C for cars, which has four wheels, M for motorcycle, which has two wheels. Then we all know that the sum of the car and motorcycle is 25. That's why we have C plus M is equal to 25. Then we also know that the sum of the four wheels in a car and two wheels in a motorcycle is equal to 70. So that's why we have 4 times the number of cars plus 2 times the number of motorcycle is equal to 70. Then afterwards, we solve. Okay, so we execute or carry out the plan. So by substitution, C plus M, or rather by transposing M on the other side of the equation, from C plus M, we can have C is equal to 25 minus M. Okay, so using the value of C, by substitution, we have 4 times 25 minus M plus 2 minus M is equal to 70. Then multiply 4 times 25 is 100 minus 4 times M is 4M plus 2M. So transpose 100 to the other side, then combine like terms. So we have negative 4M plus 2M is negative 4M equals 70 minus 100 is negative 30. So divide both side by negative 2. Okay, since we're looking at the number of motorcycles. Okay, so that's negative 2 negative 30 divided by negative 2 is positive 15. So therefore, there are 15 motorcycles. Then going back with the formula C plus M is equal to 25, palitan lang natin yung M ng 15. No? So we have C plus 15 equals 25. Lipat natin C 15. We have 25 minus 15 and that is equivalent to 10. So there are 10 cars. So after you carry out, then you check. By checking is we substitute. Tama ba na yung 4C plus 2M is equal to 70 if we will use 10 cars and 15 motorcycles? So that's 4 times 10 is 40 plus 2 times 15 is 30. So 40 plus 30 is equal to 70. So the answers are correct. Okay, so therefore there are 10 cars with 4 wheels and 15 motorcycles with 2 wheels. Okay, so there are different problem solving strategies that we can use. We have working backwards, no? Drawing pictures and diagrams, making lists or tables, solving with patterns. Now, working backward. So this is a strategy that starts at the end of the problem and you work backward to get the answer. Okay, so an example here is this. On Monday, Jerry opened a savings account for his summer earnings and deposited all of his first week's earning. Then the following day, Tuesday, he deposited 225 into the account. Then Wednesday, he withdrew 105 to buy tapes and then another 80 pesos on Thursday for other expenses. On Friday, he withdrew half of what was left in the account to buy some clothes. He then add 150 he then had 150 remaining in the account. So the question is, how much money did he deposit on Monday? Okay, so let's analyze the problem by understanding it. So ang sabi sa problem is, At the end of Friday, no, merong 150 pesos or natirang 150 pesos si Jerry. Now, ang tinatanong dito is magkano yung dineposit niya nung Monday kung ah, nag-deposit siya ng 225 nung Tuesday, nag-withdraw siya ng 105 nung Wednesday, another 80 nung Wednesday, and then kalahati nung natira noong Friday, at ang natitirang balance na lang niya is 150. So ang tanong is, how much money did Jerry deposited last Monday? So magkano yung pera niyang nilagay sa bangko bago nangyari itong mga to? So in this strategy, we can do the work backward process. It means that we start with what was left, which is 150, then going back hanggang sa marating natin yung Monday. Since we're gonna be working background, lahat ng activities na ginawa ni Jerry, babalik ta rin din natin. So kung nag-deposit siya, since work background yan, ibig sabihin nag-withdraw siya. Kung nag-withdraw siya, it means nag-deposit siya. Okay? So ganun po yung process natin. Now, to solve this problem, we can start with the amount of money Jerry had at the end and then work background using the inverse operation. So sabi ko nga po kanina. So what we can do is we can work on sulat, pwede nating isulat, no? So on Friday, the final amount of Jerry's money is 150 pesos. Okay? After niyang mag-withdraw ng kalahati. So, since nag-withdraw siya ng kalahati, it means yung kabaliktaran nun is magmumultiply tayo ng 2. Okay? Because ang kabaliktaran ng 1/2 is 2. So that is 150 times 2. Okay? So bago siya mag-withdraw, meron siyang 300 pesos. And then nung Thursday, nag-withdraw siya ng 80. So let's say, since inverse operation tayo, from withdrawal, magiging siyang deposited, which is mag-a-add. So 300 plus 80 is 380. Then on Wednesday, nag-withdraw ulit siya ng 105. So inverse ng withdrawal is deposit. So 380 plus 105 is 485 pesos. Then deposited, it means nag-add siya. Ang kabaliktaran nun is nag-withdraw, magsasubtract. So 485 minus 225 pesos is equal to 260 pesos. So yung dineposito ni Jerry nung Monday is 260 pesos. Okay? So we can now look back by making a conclusion that Jerry deposited 260 pesos last Monday or on Monday. Okay? So that's how working backwards process. The next one is drawing pictures and diagrams. Not all of us would appreciate yung mga tedious step-by-step solving process. Yung iba, mas madali nilang nasosolve yun kapag dinodrawing nila or dinadiagram nila or graph. Okay? So, a problem can be solved by means of making figures, diagram, or even graph. No? So, it helps us visualize a problem. It makes it easier for us to determine the relevant data observed, important connections and relationships in the problem. Okay? So, yung iba, mas madali nilang nasosolve at naiintindihan yung kapag nakikita nila. Okay, kaya 'di ba, sometimes when we encounter a problem, we try to imagine, no, ano ba yung problem na yon? Ano ba yung magiging itsura? Okay, so this is what we call drawing pictures and diagrams. One example here is the following. We have two pilots named Joe and Elaine. No. They are both flying from Manila to Davao, which is approximately 250 miles. Joe leaves at 8 a.m. and Elaine's leave at 9 a.m. So iba yung timeline nila. Joe's average speed is 250 miles per hour and Elaine's average speed is 375 miles per hour. So about what time will Elaine catch up to Joe? So kung tingnan natin is sa anong oras no makakahabol si Elaine kay Joe. Okay? Umalis ng 8 a.m. si Joe, umalis ng 9 a.m. si Joe. Pero yung speed ni Joe is 250 which is mabagal kumpara kay Elaine na 375. So, in that case, makakahabol nga at makakahabol si Elaine. So, ang tanong is, anong oras? Okay, hindi niya tinatanong is ilang oras bago mahabol at exact what time. Okay, so to solve, we can draw a diagram. No? So, we start with the starting point. No? Ito yung diagram natin. So, the orange, both of them, oops, um, wala. Ayan. I make a diagram. Sorry. So, the blue one are Joe's distance and the orange one ay si Elaine. So, at 8 a.m., zero pa ang tinravel ni Joe. But by 9 o'clock, 250 kasi for every 1 hour, 250 ang average speed niya. Okay, by 9 o'clock, hindi, paalis pa lang si Elaine. So by 10 o'clock, naka 500 miles na si Joe, pero si Elaine naka 375. Okay, so by 11 o'clock, 750 na silang pareho. So it means that in about 2 hours or exactly 11 a.m., mahahabol ni Elaine si Joe. Okay? Parehas na silang nasa Davao by 11. Okay? That's 4 diagrams. So kung effective sa inyo yan, you can use diagrams. Next one is making lists and tables. Okay? So a method, make a table, is helpful when solving problems involving numerical relationships. When data is organized in tables, so mas kung naka-organize yan, mas madali nating maintindihan. Okay? Madali nating makita yung pattern and relationship ng mga numbers. So on the next example, we'll be using list or tables. Okay? An algebra test consists of 10 multiple choice questions. Okay? So 10 points are given for each correct answers and 3 points are deducted for each incorrect answers. If Joshua did all questions and scored 48, how many incorrect answers did he have? So if we would analyze the problem, there are, it's a multiple choice type of questions. Okay? So sa kada correct answer or there are 10 questions. Sa kada isang question, meron kang 10 points. Kapag tama, then minus 3 kapag mali yung sagot mo. Okay? So si Joshua, naka 48 correct? Or the score of Joshua is 48. So ang tinatanong dito is gaano karami yung incorrect answers ni Joshua. So pwede tayong gumawa ng listahan dyan. Our strategy is to make a list or a table. So X for the correct answers, y for the incorrect. So we have x plus y is equal to 10. So if there are 10 correct answers minus 3y for the incorrect answers equals 48. So dapat ang makuha nating sagot is 48. So let's check. Okay? So kung lahat ng score or lahat ng 10 questions nakuha ni Joshua, that's 10 times 10 minus 3 times 0, we have 100. Perfect niya. Kung meron siyang isang mali, we have 87. Okay? So 10 times 9, 90 minus 3, we have 87. Okay? Kung dalawa naman yung mali ni Joshua, 74 ang score niya. Kung meron siyang 7 tama at 3 mali, 61 ang magiging score niya. Kung 6 naman po ang correct answers at 4, 48. Kung merong siyang 5 correct at 5 mali, 35. Then 4 correct answers and 6 incorrect, we have 22. So based on the table, ang target nating makuha is yung 48 na score. So kung titignan natin yung table, Joshua got 6 correct answers and 4 mistakes. So therefore, Joshua got 4 incorrect answers. Okay? Yun po siya. Next one is mathematical problems involving patterns. Okay? So as we all know in chapter 1, okay, so patterns serve as a guide in arriving at a correct and realistic answer. Okay, so it helps us solve problems and variety, or it helps us solve problems faster and verifies the answer right away. Okay, so example po nito yung mga sequences. Okay, we have what we call the number sequences. Okay, so example, given 1, 5, 12, 22, 35, what is the next term after 35? Okay? So, na-analyze na natin. Understand natin na ito yung problem. So, analyze natin ngayon, ano kaya yung magiging proseso natin? Okay? For strategy number 1, we can look for common difference. Ano ba yung common difference ng bawat isa? Okay? So we look for the first common difference, or FCD. Okay, so 5 minus 1 is 4, 12 minus 5 is 7, 22 minus 10, or 22 minus 12 is 10, 35 minus 22 is 13. Ngayon, kung wala tayong makita, let's proceed to what we call the second common difference. Okay, kung hanggang sa may makuha tayong common difference. Okay? So to get the second common difference, gagamitin natin yung mga first common difference, yung 4, 7, 10, 3. At mapapansin natin na 4 minus or 7 minus 4 is 3, 10 minus 7 is 3, and 13 minus 10 is 3. So therefore, hanapin muna natin yung sequence doon sa FCD, which is nakita natin na ang second common difference is 3. So we look for the next term after 13 by adding 3. So that is 3 plus 13 is 16. Okay? So using 16 for the first common difference, we add it to the last term. So 16 plus 35 is 51. Okay? So the next term after 35 in that particular sequence of 1, 5, 12, 22, 35 is 51. Okay? So as a challenge, I want you to find the next three terms of the following sequence. Okay, so this will be your assignment. No, you look for the next three terms. Last one are recreational problems using mathematics. Okay, so when we talk about recreational problems, we're talking about mathematics done for recreations, okay, or as a hobby, to have fun. No? So as we, kasi lagi nating iniisip, puro solving si math, pero nagagamit natin si math also when it comes to recreational. Okay, pag-relax. Okay, so it can involve games or puzzles that are related to math. Usually, ginagamitan natin to ng general logic or lateral thinking skills. Okay, so there are some examples here of recreational math that I know that you are familiar with. No, we have rubric cubes or rubrics cube. We also have Sudoku, Magic Square, Tower of Hanoi, board games, stick puzzles, number puzzles. No? So, familiar naman tayo lahat siguro sa rubric. Okay? So, rubric was actually named after a Hungarian professor of architecture, Erno Rubric. Okay, so it's a 3D combination rubric. It was invented in 1974. Okay, so ang goal natin dito is to sorry, balik natin. The main goal of a rubric is to start with some randomized, shuffled, messy configuration of the cube. Okay, so each faces of the cube have colors. Red, yellow, white, green, blue, orange ata yung isa if I'm not mistaken, no? Then, pag isa-shuffle mo yon and then bubuuin mo siya in a way na lahat ng color red nasa isang face ng rubrics, then white, and so on and so forth. Okay? So, merong mga techniques for that. The next one is the Sudoku or number place. So in a classic Sudoku, the objective is to fill a 9 by 9 grid with digits so that each column, each row, and each of the 3 by 3 grid cold boxes contain all of the number digits from 1 to 9. So in short, kailangan mong punuan to ng 1 to 9, yung horizontal, also 1 to 9 yung vertical, as well as itong 3 by 3 box na to na kung saan hindi uulit yung mga numbers. Okay? On each row, on each column, as well as on the box. Okay? So, ganon si Rubik's Cube. I see Sudoku. Merong mga events like games na pabilisan mabuo ang Sudoku puzzle. Merong mga ganon. Okay. Next recreational one is ito madalas natin to nakikita sa mga social media. This is what we call magic square. Okay? So a magic square is a array of numbers, usually positive integers, wherein the sum of the row and each of the columns as well as the diagonal are the same. Okay? So, kumbaga, yung total nito, yung row 1, row 2, row 3, as well as column 1, 2, and 3, as well as the main diagonals, itong part na to at ito, ay pare-parehas ng sagot pag kinuha natin. Okay, so that is what you call magic square. So another one is the Tower of Hanoi. Okay? Madalas din to. No? So the Tower of Hanoi, if you can see, there are three poles or pedestals and some discs with different sizes. Then all you need to do is from the first rod or pole, you have to transfer all of the disc, no? Wherein yung pattern is largest to smallest. Okay? So, hindi pwedeng smallest yung papatong, I mean yung small disk yung nasa ilalim then nasa taas yung bigger disk. So dapat bigger disk then smaller disk. Okay? So as illustrated on the graphics, papansinin nyo po is tinatransfer yung mga disk from largest to smallest. Okay? So smaller stacks or smaller disk are on the top of the bigger disk. Ganun po siya. Then meron mga games dito na pabilisan. May mga ganong games dyan. Next one is board games. Ito, mga familiar kayo mga rito. So board games are tabletop games that typically use pieces, move or place on a pre-marked locations or part of the board. Okay? So usually, familiar tayo dyan, chess, no? Snake and ladders. Meron yung nauusong Monopoly game, no? So yun, mga board games yung mga yon. Now we also have stick games. This time is, ito, nakikita ko rin to sa social media is, given the number of prescribed sticks, then you have to move them to obtain, or you are given a certain number of moves to obtain the goal. Gaya na lang ito. So given the arrangement of the sticks, you have to move 3 sticks to make 4 squares. Okay? So mga ganyan. Then we also have number puzzles or IQ challenge. Ito, madalas din to sa mga social media networks. No? So minsan randomly lalabas na lang. Can you solve? Then may mga picture. Then if you add them, this is the sum. If you multiply them, this is the product. And so on and so forth. Right? Kagaya na lang po nito. So the sum of 3 red flowers is 60. The sum of a red flower and 2 blue flowers is 30. Okay? And then a blue flower minus a yellow flower is 3. So find the sum of the yellow, the red, and the blue flower. O kaya naman mental challenge na D plus A is 50, A plus A plus A is 120, and so on and so forth. Okay? Then you are asked to solve for the last part. So these are some of the recreational games na related kay mathematics. So that ends. Meron pa pala. Number patterns. Kagaya nito. Make 6. Okay, so insert operations in between those numbers to get the answer, which is 6. Okay, putting mathematical operations between each given number to obtain the given answer. So, anong combinations ng 4 basic fundamental operations ang pwede natin ilagay to obtain 6? We have 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. How about for the third one? That's 3 times 3 is 9 minus 3 is 6. Then the next one is 4, 4, 4 is equal to 6. So, ano po ang magiging mga sagot dyan? Okay? So, yan po. So, those are some of the recreational games that we can work on that is in relation with mathematics. So thank you and have a great day.